A shark devours a person, but the next second, haven't you ever fantasized about waking up one morning and the apocalypse has suddenly arrived? How wonderful that would be. From now on, you wouldn't have to work anymore. This situation happens to Tendo. He is a university graduate who was originally full of expectations for his future life, but inadvertently gets a job at a sweatshop. On his very first day at work, his boss demands that he work overnight. He thinks that working overtime is just a one-time event, but it turns out to be the norm. In the days that follow, going home becomes a luxury for Tendo. He practically eats and sleeps in the company. Besides this, all the tiring menial tasks are assigned to Tendo. If he shows even the slightest bit of relaxation, he faces the manager's insults and accusations. Tendo gradually becomes despondent and has no hope for life anymore. In fact, on his way home from work, he even contemplates death. But that morning, the wheel of fate begins to turn. He discovers that the neighbor downstairs has turned into a zombie. Coming to his senses, Tendo quickly turns to flee, but finds that everyone in the apartment has mutated. During his escape, Tendo habitually glances at the time. Surprisingly, he is more worried about being late for work than about the zombies. He runs all the way to the rooftop and jumps over the railing before the horde of zombies catches up. As he regains his composure, he sees a burning passenger plane flying overhead. The entire city is in chaos, with terrifying scenes of zombies eating people everywhere. It seems the apocalypse has truly arrived. However, Tendo does not feel scared. Instead, he exhibits unusual excitement. After all, nothing is scarier than going to work. After a whole year without a day off, Tendo finally has his own time. Now he can do whatever he wants. What makes Tendo even happier is that the female colleague he has a crush on sends him a rescue message. Maybe today he can say goodbye to being single. Tendo eagerly climbs down the pipes. He encounters a couple. In a cheerful mood, Tendo promises to bring them some supplies. The couple looks bewildered, as it's the apocalypse, yet someone is so happy. Tendo rides his bike, wearing a happy smile, completely unconcerned about the zombies chasing after him. Soon, he arrives at the apartment where his female colleague lives. As soon as he enters, she fearfully leaps into his arms. He thinks love has finally arrived, but then he realizes there's a zombie in the room, and it turns out to be his boss. It seems that the female colleague he has a crush on is actually his boss's mistress. Tendo doesn't have time to mourn. He immediately tells her to leave quickly, but her foot is injured and she can't move. To protect her, Tendo has no choice but to fiercely block the zombie boss, but accidentally pulls off his wig. He uses the wig to stuff the boss's gaping mouth, but the boss throws him away. After getting up, Tendo decides to counterattack. He was an excellent rugby player in college, and his speed and strength far exceed those of an average person. Tendo slams the zombie onto the ground, and his female colleague takes the opportunity to finish it off. Just when Tendo thinks the danger is over, the female colleague suddenly collapses and begins convulsing. It turns out she was already bitten by the boss. In the next moment, she stands up slowly in a strange pose, completely transforming into a zombie. Seeing the girl he likes become this way devastates Tendo. He loudly expresses his buried love, then leaves in tears. When he climbs back home through the pipes, he finds that the couple is already gone. The room is filled with mottled bloodstains, leaving it in disarray. Back at home, Tendo looks at the food he didn't get to give to the couple and thinks about his female colleague who has become a zombie. He can't help but feel a bit sad. Perhaps misfortune will soon befall him as well. Tendo doesn't want to die with many regrets. He decides to fulfill 100 wishes before he turns into a zombie and records them in a notebook. For example, confessing to the person he likes or dyeing his hair. Each time he completes a wish, he crosses it off with a pen. Although these wishes seem ordinary, they are dreams that were once unattainable for the old Tendo. Early the next morning, Tendo begins his action, starting with a thorough cleaning of his home. Then he goes to the supermarket for free shopping, selecting many snacks he usually does not dare to buy. However, even the supermarket clerk, now a zombie, remains quite dedicated to her job. Next, Tendo goes to a hair salon to dye his hair, and finally rides his motorcycle home. Just when he prepares to enjoy the grilled steak, he discovers there is no barbecue sauce at home. So he goes to a convenience store again, but it seems he is not the only one shopping for free. Tendo quickly kneels down and begs for mercy. Seeing that he is not a zombie, the other person ignores him. Just as Tendo is about to complain, he notices a beautiful girl under the helmet. At this moment, the sound attracts the zombies outside. Tendo frantically shouts for the girl to escape with him, but she remains very calm. The girl seems accustomed to fighting zombies. She is not only agile but also experienced. She tosses the alarm device behind her, immediately drawing away the zombies with its piercing sound. Tendo looks at the girl in admiration, thinking she is like the heroine in a survival horror game. He enthusiastically invites her to accompany him, but the girl looks down on him, a man unable to protect himself. By the end of the day, Tendo manages to accomplish several wishes, but after the revelry, he feels somewhat lost. How nice it would be if someone could accompany him to fulfill these wishes. Tendo remembers his good friend Kenny from college and decides to give him a call. Fortunately, Kenny is still alive, but unfortunately, he is trapped in a love hotel. The hallway outside is filled with zombies, and the girl he was playing with have turned into monsters. Tendo decides to rescue Kenny and immediately rides off on his motorcycle. Zombies are everywhere in the streets, and they all pounce on Tendo. However, his motorcycle skills are decent and he manages to shake off the chasing zombies. By evening, he finally reaches his destination. This is Japan's largest red light district, where once sexy and beautiful girls have now transformed into terrifying monsters. Tendo learns from the method used by the girl in the convenience store. He throws a Bluetooth speaker far away and uses his phone to control the music. Once most of the zombies are attracted away, Tendo puts on his rugby uniform and dashes into the love hotel. Meanwhile, Kenny, hiding in a room, notices that the zombies outside have vanished, so he plans to take the opportunity to escape. The moment he steps out of the room, he encounters Tendo, who came to save him, but zombies are also chasing them. The two escape to the rooftop and finally shake off the danger. They enter a high-end hotel to feast and celebrate their survival. Kenny remarks that Tendo is still as full of justice as he was in childhood. This reminds Tendo of a childhood wish, to become a superhero and save everyone. He quickly writes this wish down. However, Tendo does not possess the superpowers of a superhero. No matter how strong he is, if he gets bitten by a zombie, it's all over. Tendo suddenly remembers that there's a shark suit in the aquarium, and if he wears it, even sharks can't bite through it. Tendo decides to go to the aquarium. Since the distance to the aquarium is far, they decide to gather supplies first. But just as they arrive at the mall entrance, a runaway bus comes to a stop nearby. Many survivors get off the bus, drawing all the surrounding zombies over. 3 survivors escape to the mall entrance. Just when Tendo plans to enter the mall with them, he suddenly sees the girl who had saved him at the convenience store. He loudly calls for the girl to take refuge, finally managing to block them outside before the zombies catch up. The several survivors, having escaped, do not notice that the pilot who snuck in has already been bitten. The 2 female survivors suggest drinking some alcohol and invite Tendo and Kenny to join them. Upon learning that they are flight attendants, Tendo's eyes light up, as one of his wishes is to go on a date with a flight attendant. Tendo, who has never been in a romantic relationship, doesn't know how to talk to women at all. Meanwhile, Kenny, who is skilled at flirting, quickly wins the favor of 2 flight attendants. Watching Kenny walk away with the flight attendants, Tendo feels deeply envious. At that moment, the girl who saved him returns from her patrol. Tendo then realizes that he still doesn't know her name. However, the girl ignores his attempt at small talk. She notices the wound on Tendo's hand and helps him bandage it. The girl criticizes Tendo for being too reckless in such a dangerous environment, saying that it's hard to survive long with such a carefree attitude. Just as Tendo is about to retort, the pilot lying on the ground suddenly mutates. They quickly forget about their argument and start to run, but the zombies chasing them suddenly stop. It turns out that Kenny and the flight attendants are role-playing, and the noises they make attract the zombie. A zombie has already appeared behind a completely unaware Kenny. Kenny tries to save the flight attendant who is being attacked, but it's too late. As another flight attendant is also bitten, Kenny is utterly terrified and runs away. Tendo wants to go save Kenny, but the girl plans to leave directly. She has always acted alone, as companions only drag her down. At this point, the zombie is already near Kenny, and his foul breath nearly knocks him out. At the critical moment, loud music suddenly blares from a distance. The girl isn't as heartless as she claims to be. She turned on the speakers before she left, allowing Kenny to narrowly escape. But all the zombies gather around the source of the music, putting the girl in a desperate situation. Seeing this, Tendo immediately lights fireworks to attract the zombies and then takes the girl to escape them all together. The 3 of them drive an RV and prepare to head to the aquarium. After going through life and death experiences together, the girl no longer rejects traveling with Tendo. She takes the initiative to tell Tendo that her name is Mika. Since the journey is long, the three of them travel while having fun along the way. Tendo also takes the opportunity to fulfill many of his wishes, such as paragliding and soaking in hot springs. After a few days of travel, they finally see the aquarium. But just then, the RV suddenly has a tire blowout and goes out of control, causing Tendo to crash into a wall and lose consciousness. It turns out someone deliberately placed nails on the road. When Tendo wakes up, he sees the manager from the sweatshop he used to work at and thinks he must be having a nightmare. This manager used to exploit Tendo endlessly, leaving him with psychological scars. Unfortunately, it turns out to be reality. The manager has also come to the aquarium and has even established a safe zone here. He places nails on the road to intercept other survivors and forces them to stay and work for him. The entire aquarium has been turned into yet another sweatshop, where everyone must work constantly to earn food. Tendo never expected that even at the end of the world, he would still be unable to escape the fate of having to work. Moreover, the manager not only exploits the workers, but even the zombies. He keeps a large number of zombies nearby as guards, ensuring that no one dares to come here to steal supplies. He brainwashes Tendo just like before, saying, "Even zombies are working. What excuse do you have for not working hard? Even if not for yourself, you should think about your companions. Besides, there's plenty of resources here, so staying here is absolutely safe." Under his sweet talking, Tendo reluctantly accepts the reality. But the truth is, the manager and the other leaders feast on lavish meals every day, while the regular workers can only eat emergency rations. Tendo is treated like a servant, constantly at the manager's beck and call. However, an accident happens. Due to the carelessness of an employee who went out to search for supplies, a zombie manages to sneak into the truck. When the employee returns to the aquarium and opens the truck, he is immediately attacked by the zombie inside. The zombies guarding the entrance, attracted by the sound, notice the situation and start rushing in. They quickly break into the aquarium and begin attacking the survivors inside. The entire aquarium instantly becomes a paradise for zombies. Some zombies accidentally fall into the shark tank and are eaten by the sharks inside. Led by Tendo, the remaining survivors barely escape the zombies' pursuit, only to find the entire venue suddenly starting to shake. A shark suddenly jumps out of the water and immediately devours one of the lucky onlookers. The shark has turned into a zombie, terrifying everyone, who immediately turn around and start running. Only Mika remains unflustered, knowing that no matter how fierce the shark is, it can't move on land. However, the next second, the shark grows several human legs. It is fused with the zombies it swallowed, turning into an amphibious creature. Everyone starts running desperately, but they don't expect the shark to smash through the wall, blocking their path. Tendo directs everyone to hide in a nearby warehouse, but the manager, who is too slow, gets left behind outside. He is quickly targeted by the shark. Despite his companion's objections, Tendo insists on going out to save the manager. This is his chance to fulfill his wish of becoming a superhero, and conveniently, there is a shark suit in the warehouse. Just as the manager is about to be eaten, the superhero makes his entrance. But the manager has little confidence in Tendo. Wearing the advanced gear, Tendo feels invincible and directly confronts the shark. The shark quickly brings him back to reality. To make matters worse, the panicked manager accidentally lets the zombies in while fleeing. He abandons Tendo and runs away. At this point, Kenny arrives with a forklift to help. Seeing this, Tendo struggles to break free from the shark and rushes to save the manager. But even the forklift is no match for the shark. The enraged shark pins it against the wall, leaving it immobile. He escapes through a hole in the wall, while the shark, following closely, gets stuck in the hole. Meanwhile, Tendo finds himself in a crisis. Although the shark suit can prevent him from being bitten, it can't stop the pain. Fortunately, Mika arrives with a loudspeaker to help. She attracts the zombies and then skillfully weaves through the horde, eventually standing by the pool. She coolly throws the loudspeaker to both sides, calmly watching as the zombies charge toward her. The mindless zombies follow the sound of the loudspeaker and fall into the pool. Seeing the zombies all taken care of, the manager, hiding nearby, smugly takes credit for the success. Even in this situation, he doesn't miss a chance to flaunt his leadership, which even the zombie shark finds intolerable. After knocking out the manager, the shark charges at Tendo again. Tendo picks up a stick to try to defend himself, but it's useless. At this rate, Tendo will either be bitten to death or dragged to death. At that moment, Mika suddenly has a bright idea. She takes out the battery from a flashlight. Since the shark relies on a highly sensitive organ in its head to locate prey, electrocuting it could damage that organ. But the only one who can get close enough to the shark to do this is Tendo in the shark suit, who is currently being pummeled by the shark. Seeing that Tendo is about to give in, Kenny decides to take a gamble. In college, his hesitation during a football game caused both him and Tendo to lose the finals. This time, he doesn't want to lose again. After throwing the battery, Kenny also ends up in danger. Tendo immediately grips the battery tightly and charges at the shark, swinging his fist hard at the shark's head. The method proves effective, and the massive zombie shark collapses to the ground. With the crisis over, the survivors gather supplies and prepare to leave the aquarium. The manager tries to stop them, knowing that without employees, he can't be a leader, but no one is willing to be exploited and oppressed anymore. Moreover, his selfish behavior of fleeing without considering others' lives has made everyone despise him. Soon, everyone drives away, leaving the manager to fend for himself. Tendo, along with his two companions, continues their journey in the apocalypse, determined to fulfill 100 wishes before turning into a zombie.